ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Parks in Tech. Today, I'm going to give you my thoughts and impressions of the DJI Mavic Air 2 after 30 days of use. I'm a little late to the party with this one, but for good reason. For the past month, I've taken this quad to quite a few locations. The abandoned golf course, which you've seen me fly before, a new river spot, a gorgeous lake, and even launching and landing from a moving boat. First things first, this is a DJI product. I'm not a fanboy of DJI by any means. I fly all the Xenos, the Femis, the Parrots, etc. While some of those can be compared in certain ways to a DJI product, it's really often not even fair. With the exception of the Mavic Mini and the new Air 2, DJI products have often been extremely expensive and out of most people's budgets. In my opinion, the Air 2 is a phenomenal piece of equipment with, for what it is, an affordable price tag. When you want a quad that just works, DJI is nearly a sure bet. They've had a fair share of issues, like they all do. However, they're extremely easy to set up, fly, and control. With the release of the Mavic Mini, we saw a great beginner quad, but it lacks certain features that some of the more advanced users enjoy. Now with the Air 2, it seems like we got all those. For its size, it handles great in the wind, and when it's just hovering, it's literally just hovering. It sits put until a command is given. The sticks can be a tiny bit touchy, but I hope those can be adjusted with some firmware. Speaking of controls, this transmitter is by far the best designed transmitter there is, if you ask me. The new phone holder position at the top makes a huge difference, and just the overall quality is second to none. Don't take my word for it. Once you get this in your hands and feel it for yourself, you'll know exactly what I mean. Not that the Mavic 2 series was big in size by any means, but the slightly smaller size of the Air 2 is just perfect. I've traveled a lot with it, and it's easy to transport and carry. The quality of the build itself really was put to the test recently when I witnessed and filmed the quad. It wasn't mine, come back on 0% battery, and a bailout was needed. It fell roughly 50 feet into a tree and came out with only a few green marks on it. There were no scratches, no scuffs, no gimbal or camera issues, not even a broken prop. Full disclaimer, if this would have fallen on a rock or concrete, it would have broke. So it is not indestructible, but it is very well built. The half-inch sensor on the camera does a wonderful job. Even though this is capable of doing 4K 60 frames per second, I've found that flying it in 4K 30 with HDR on gives me my most preferable results. To each their own on this one. I know some people have reported some jitter or shake in the gimbal. While this may or may not be a problem, I have yet to experience it. The range on it is perfect and more than enough for most people. Be careful if the transmitter is not facing the quad's general direction, or you may experience some premature breakup. However, with the transmitter facing directly at the quad, I've witnessed in person a range of 27,000 feet, which is roughly about 5.11 miles or 8.2 kilometers. The battery life of the quad is pretty good. I've seen roughly 26 to 29 minutes with a little left to spare. The obstacle avoidance sensors aren't perfect, but they work pretty darn well for most people. Comparing it to the new Skydio 2 in terms of overall obstacle avoidance just isn't fair, but for what it is, they work for most people. I will have a separate video showcasing the obstacle avoidance and my experience with it coming soon. My only fault so far with this quad is actually a fault of only my own. I did not get the Fly More combo, and having those extra batteries would be huge, and I would recommend having spares. It really is just that much fun to fly. Again, this quad just works, and it goes exactly where you tell it. That's of course assuming you're flying properly. A question that may come up is this quad good for a beginner? Well, I can't completely answer that without knowing information about the individual wanting to fly. In my opinion, assuming certain conditions, I would say yes, it is a good quad for a beginner. However, in other cases, I would say no. It is extremely important for anyone that wants to get into this awesome hobby to make sure they have a basic knowledge of unmanned aircraft. I will post a link in the description below for anyone interested in getting into this hobby. All in all, my experience 1 month in has been nothing but enjoyable. I've always been known on my channel to tell it like it is, and I always will. I will call a spade and a duck a duck. Just keep in mind, I can only speak from my experiences, good or bad, and I would show and tell you about both of them. With that said, if there is anyone on the border of purchasing this, I say one thing to them: what are you waiting for? You won't be disappointed, assuming you follow the rules. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, and I thank each and every one of you for your continued support. There's a lot of video that has been recorded for this, and you saw some of the previews during this video. The full-length part of this series will be coming soon. I will also have the new FEMI X8 2020 coming as well, actually in a few days. So thanks again for watching. Please be sure to hit that thumbs up if you found any of this content useful, and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you'll know exactly when I post a new video. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.